Hello and welcome to another episode of Fork in Politics. This was a rather unexpected episode, but given the news today, I thought I would do an extra episode to discuss a few news items that I've seen today that I think people that would be attracted to this channel would like to read. So the first one I'm going to start with is an article. It's in a number of the media outlets today, and this one's from The Telegraph, and they are reporting a statement made by a director at the Taxpayers Alliance. It's astonishing. This director, Alex Wild, he's the research director at the Conservative Party conference here in Manchester. He gave a speech and he said his reasoning behind the recommendation to reduce pensioners' income was, the first of which will sound a little bit morbid. Some of the people, i.e. the pensioners, won't be around to vote against you in the next election, which is in 2020. So that's just a practical point, and the other point is they may have forgotten by then. I'm speechless that even the Conservatives would want to be associated with somebody that says rip the pensioners off because they'll be dead by the next election, and besides which they've all got dementia, so they wouldn't remember even if they lived. I think that is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. So on to the next one. It was a statement this afternoon by Jeremy Hunt, and Mr. Hunt was backing up David Cameron's statement earlier on this morning on the 5th of October that they will plough ahead with tax credit reforms, and they will start reducing the amount of tax credits that are being paid to families, primarily people that just had children, get tax credits to top up their wages, to make sure that children are kept out of poverty if that's at all possible. So David Cameron has said the country can't afford it, so we're going to remove tax credits. And Jeremy Hunt gave a speech this afternoon at the party conference. Again, I am slightly bewildered as to why any politician would want to say this in public and own this statement. Mr. Hunt's view is that if we remove up to £1,300 a year in credits from individuals, that will make the people in Britain work harder, and it will make us work as hard as the Chinese and the Americans. Again, I'm speechless and can only say well done on voting for the Conservatives at the last election. I think you are getting what you deserve. So my next story is, and I'm sorry I'm not picking on the Conservatives, but this again is something that was said at one of the fringe meetings at the Conservatives conference, which is on at the moment in Manchester, and a Home Office minister was talking to one of the fringe groups. Her name is Karen Bradley, and she has said something that I've thought was happening for quite some time, and if it's true, and I suspect very strongly that it is true, it gives further credence to what UKIP have been saying for the last 20 plus years, and what we're about to continue saying in the run-up to the referendum. Miss Bradley has stated that many countries where they can't get laws passed by their national governments, they will lobby MEPs to get laws passed at the European Parliament level. and once a law is passed at the European Parliament level, then it trickles down to the national level, and the national parliament is not allowed to reject it. And she's quite emphatic that this has been going on. It's going on at the moment in regards to an unnamed country which is trying to get mandatory passenger name records on flights legislation put through, and because they couldn't do it in their national country, it's now been lobbied for. MEPs have been lobbied at the European Parliament, and Miss Bradley finishes her speech by suggesting to the Conservatives that they can utilise that method to get things through that they wouldn't normally be able to get through Parliament. If it's true, and I don't know, it's just an independent story, I haven't seen any video of her giving the speech, but if it is true, it's disgusting. We elect to Parliament, and we are the ones that should have the final say as to what happens. To bypass the UK Parliament and do it via Europe is at the cornerstone of why I hate Europe. It's why I don't think we should be in Europe. I don't think, for many other reasons, I don't think Europe does anything for us. But if this is true, and politicians are actively bypassing their nation's parliament in order to get laws through that their constituents or even their other parliamentarians wouldn't allow through, that's disgusting. And we're going to be opening very shortly a YouTube channel for the referendum, and we're regularly going to be talking about referendum issues, but I thought I would bring that up today because, well, she's advocating it to the Conservatives as something that they should do on a regular basis going forward, and I think that should tell you what kind of government we've got. That's my final story, so thanks for watching, subscribe, and we'll be back again shortly. Thank you.